Welcome back, everyone. Reactions have continued to trail the brutal killing of at least 16 soldiers of the 181 Amphibious Battalion deployed on a peacekeeping mission to quell community clashes in Bomadi local government area of Delta State. President Bola Tinubu has condemned this killing. He has also demanded justice for these slain soldiers, saying this act will not be condoned. Tonight, let's get the perspective of retired Group Captain Sadiq Garbashew, defense, security and counterterrorism expert. He's also former spokesman, Nigerian Air Force. Group Captain, good evening to you, sir. It's so good to see you again. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Good evening.
Group Captain, can you hear me? Good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the program. Group Captain Sadiq Garbashew, can you hear me, sir? Right. So, as a retired serviceman, what was your first reaction to this heinous murder of our military men on peace mission in Delta State?
Hear me? Of most reasonable people is shock, anger, and disappointment, and also sadness that soldiers that were sent to interface or to intervene between two warring communities to ensure that those communities do not lose life or property, they ended up losing their own lives. This is very sad, and I think I must console and commiserate with the families of the slain officers and men, and also with all members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, and also with all Nigerians, because like the president said himself, this is an attack against the Nigerian nation. When you lose soldiers like that, it is, the military man is a symbol of the state, and attacking him is somehow, whether by citizens or by foreigners, is like an attack on a national symbol. So it was a very shocking and disappointing and very horrible experience to have killed the soldiers, not only to have killed them, to have mutilated their bodies. It is very, very sad.
I can imagine. The President and the Senate have both reacted to this unfortunate incident with the same demand: fish them out. For you, how instructive is this?
Hello, I didn't get your question.
The President and the Senate have both reacted to this unfortunate incident with the same demand: fish them out. So I'm asking, how instructive is this for you?
How is the?
How instructive is this? How instructive is this for you?
Yes, it is very instructive because the president as the commander-in-chief, whether we like it or not, the military force is supposed to be the last highest force that any country, any commander-in-chief, any president will be able to bring if there's a total break of law and order. Now, a situation where the effectiveness or the operation of your highest instrument of coercion is being challenged, I do not think it is anything that any president would accept, because it is there. It is a short walk to anarchy, complete anarchy. So I can understand the feelings of the president. I can understand his message that the people who did this attack. Remember, he said it's an attack on the Nigerian nation. You know, he has to send out a very powerful message first to ensure that the federal government, retains its power to use the military force in any part of the country if there's break law and order. That is one. Secondly, he must send a message that will assure the remaining soldiers, officers and men, as well as other security forces, so that their morale will not go down, that their lives will be wasted in vain. So it is a very powerful message that the president is setting. And I hope the whole country will also see it in that light.
Right, but if you look at this holistically, Group Captain, do you think they were simply lured into a trap?
Sorry, please, I'm not hearing you. Maybe my network here.
Do you think these officers were simply lured into a trap?
Do I think the officers were?
Do you think they were lured into a trap? Do you really believe they were ambushed?
Well, we have to look everything, in a holistic way. My own disappointment is that I think within the last 6 months, this is not the first time we're hearing that our troops are being lured. And in many of these cases, it is as a result of calling a call out from some people in distress. Then when they hurry to fulfill their national obligation, then they end up being the victims. So even though this particular incident, I don't want to be in a hurry because investigations are going, and almost every hour after this incident, you hear different kinds of versions. But we cannot rule out the fact that even the initial call out was a ruse, to lure the soldiers and then attack them. But I would say the jury is still out because we are still hearing different versions of what happened. But whatever, as long as it is not foreigners that attack our soldiers, for a Nigerian who knows the Nigerian military man or the security man is ready to lay out his life for him or her, or a group of whoever they are, to turn and attack such people, it's a very, very horrible, action, which has to be condemned.
I mean, just like you said, there have been several reactions. So many people have said a lot, and there have been several pontification. But being a peace operation in the night, was there something that could have been done that was not done?
Well, to talk frankly, when you look at the initial information that's available, for me as a military observer, there are a lot of things that are wrong with this operation. Of course, first and foremost is the unfortunate loss of lives of our soldiers. But behind it, I hear the Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, saying there will be an investigation. From a military point of view, there's a lot of questions to ask about how that operation was carried out, how those tools were overpowered. With due respect, from a military standpoint, when you say a brigade, I mean a battalion commander, a lieutenant colonel, and two majors, who by their right are supposed to be probably company commanders, and then a captain, were leading a group of about 12 officers, 12 soldiers. It comes, you have to ask some questions. Is it that they do not have enough strength? Because again, when you look at the chronology, my understanding is that the attack that killed the commander was the second. Earlier on, a team was sent, and that team was disarmed and held. So I expect when returning, the commander ought to have returned with a very overwhelming force commensurate to the threat that he this is. So to find that when you are talking of a battalion commander in Nigerian parlance, you are talking of a commander of about 700 to 800 officers and men. So if I were playing, of course, I'm sitting here in the chair, I'm commenting. I am not in the battlefront, but then I'm saying from what we learned in military tactics, for a commander that has that number, for him to carry his two officers and the captain and go with a squad that is just a section, I think there is something wrong. But I do not want to preempt any investigation. I am sure, just like I'm thinking, the military top brass are also looking not only at the sad aspect of losing the soldier. How is it that these forces arrived at a place with such underwhelming force in such a way that these people were able to massacre them like that? I think it is something that will be checked by the military authorities, and then later we can know what we do. Because in military training, when you have such incidents, these are the kind of incidents that you take a scenario for teaching even future officers what to do and what not to do. So definitely, I think there are issues of tactics there. There are issues of, we even have to ask, how strong was that battalion that was sent into a very dangerous place like the Niger Delta? How strong? Are they up to the 800 or 700 that I said? How are the companies there? How are they equipped? These are very valid questions, which I'm sure a military investigation will get to the root of them.
Absolutely. And also there have been this conversation about the intelligence surrounding that mission and whether or not the rescue mission was poorly organized. But now that's where we are at the moment, how do you advise the military to handle this unfortunate incident to avoid what some have called collateral damage?
Good. I think we're on the same track, but I hope the track will continue. What do I mean? The president has given the marching order. I hear him saying DHQ and CDS has been given full authority to bring justice to anybody who have been responsible. That is one good way of way, because we have to, send a message that you cannot harm people that are sent to protect your life and then get away with it. That is the first aspect. The second aspect is prompt investigation. I also heard that the CDS has ordered an inquiry. The inquiry should be prompt, with prompt prosecution, not only prosecution to finding
Group Captain, are you there?
Out. How do we find so few numbers of officers? Prompt investigation will also help. I know many soldiers that are operating, but as soldiers, they'll get over it. But authorities have to do this thin track of action. Quick investigation to find out what is wrong, whether it is on the operational side, whether it is on the political side, whatever the reason, we should get, to the bottom of it.
Well, how do you think this investigation should go?
It's an honest investigation that will be done. Normally, when you have this, there's the concept of independent investigation. What do you mean independent investigation? Any commander that is with that area will not be part of this investigation. The military, either at the headquarters, defense headquarters, or even with some retired officers, or even some civilian experts, because the kind of investigation you might even need some people of forensics to do this thing. Maybe examining the bodies, examining where it happened. So you have to have people who are not connected directly with the incident. That is what I would advise the defense headquarters to do. Find people that are not connected with the incident so that you will be able to get to the root of the problem. Look at all the allegations and counter allegations, many of which are coming, because the bottom line of an investigation is not even punishment, is to ensure that this kind of dastardly accident does not happen again. If we are able to achieve that, then we could say we have gotten something positive out of a bad situation.
Absolutely. But Group Captain, do you worry that things may degenerate in those communities? Are you concerned that the military may take the law into their hands as a result of this brutal killing?
Well, I've had people raising that observation, and here I am alarmed at this because I've been following this story. I hear people, not the military, not the government. The statement of the president is very clear, and I've read it verbatim. Full authority to bring to justice those responsible. That's what the president said. I had the CDS saying he has commenced an investigation. I never heard any official statement, either from government or from the military, that we are going on the revenge mission or we are going for reprisal. But unfortunately, and even you, the media, have to take blame for that. I read a lot of reprisal attack. I read a lot of revenge. A trained military man would not talk of revenge or reprisal attack. And these words, they are only found in the media. I challenge anybody. I have checked all the official statements, either from military or government. I didn't see that because first, as somebody who studied this, I was alarmed when I started hearing of revenge or reprisal attack. It is nothing that came from the official side. However, from what I know of military operations, your reporter just now that you played back before he started interviewing me, he said some bodies are being recovered. What I know from military operation, if you lose men or equipment, it is duty bound on the military to go back and recover those bodies and recover any equipment. One rifle missing from a whole battalion of 800 people can cause the whole battalion to be sent to the bush and not to come back until they recover this. So what I see, I do not see any degeneration. And again, people are forgetting. Our military personnel are very well trained in the concept of protection of civilians. And the military training, that is why we do put you, we give you punishment. What does it build in the soldier? It builds what is called courageous restraint. Courageous restraint is the fact that despite the dastardly act of the enemy or the adversary, the officer or soldier that is well trained is trained to raise his absorption threshold, to absorb any kind of bestiality and make sure he continues to act in a professional way. I trust the military will do that, but at the same time, they have to go and look for any missing equipment, any missing ammunition, or even missing personnel that have been fallen and their bodies have not been found. It is in that light I want to see any carry-on operation, and I'm sure the good training that has been given to the officers and men will ensure that this fear of putting the the law into their own hands, I do not think that will happen.
Rob Carlton, so let's stay on this for a minute because this is very important so others can learn and also have proper information, especially around this conversation. In your years of service, do you think the military engages in what some have called selective vengeful attacks? Did you get that, Group Captain? Group Captain, did you get that, sir? All right, let's go on a short break and we will continue this conversation when I return. Please.